welcome to Recall Gaming Exploits, and this is the Radeon news. Once again, DICE and EA have came out and they've just decided to try and explain why the hell they're not putting space battles into Star Wars Battlefront. Star Wars Battlefront 1 didn't have space battles. There were a lot of features that weren't in Star Wars Battlefront 1 that was in Star Wars Battlefront 2, but Battlefront 2 came along and they took the original game and just added a bunch of stuff to it. And you know what? Pretty much everything they added was well received by the fans. I mean, there's like Jedi, space battles, all sorts. There was 50 odd classes, 30 odd vehicles. Absolutely ridiculous. You could drive the AT-ATs. Everything was well received. Basically, what Battlefront 2 was to the series was what Call of Duty Modern Warfare was to the Call of Duty series. It was the grand mecca that laid the foundation for every game that came after it. The thing is, though, Star Wars Battlefront, no games came after it, so it ended up just sort of leaving this special place in everyone's heart that played it, and that's why it's got such critical cult following. It's got such a great critical and cult following that really want to see the best for the series. They want to see it continue from where it left off, and that's not what we're getting. So anyway, Patrick back from the Swedish studio, DICE, reveals why they want to keep a focus on Battlefront's planetary skirmishes. He says, "We want players to stay in the same environment. We don't want players to fly off and do something over here. It's all about the Battlefront experience. So we want to keep you in atmosphere, fighting with the infantry. As a studio, we have to start somewhere. You can't do everything at once. We want to build something that's great for what it is and have a holistic view over what we're trying to achieve, rather than tossing everything in there from the start." So essentially what he's saying is that they want to sort of make a Star Wars Battlefront 1 experience, not a Star Wars Battlefront 2 experience, which is kind of annoying because that means that they're missing out most of the core aspects of the series that people love. See, Star Wars Battlefront was a bit anemic compared to its sequel. So everyone wants the space battles, everyone wants ridiculous amounts of vehicles, everyone wants 50 odd classes of infantry. What we don't want is just sort of a reskinned Battlefield just made to look like Star Wars without destructibility, which is what they've told us that we're getting. We're getting 20 players or 32 players per team, plus ground infantry warfare and vehicles and some aerial, but all in atmosphere with zero destructibility. With some amazing looking Star Wars character and vehicle models to play with, because they've actually scanned actual props into the game, so you know the AT-ATs couldn't be any more accurate. Just basically every vehicle, every character that appears in the game has been scanned in, so it's as accurate as you could ever get. It's going to be the prettiest looking Star Wars game that we're going to have, which is great and all, but let's face it, when it comes to games, we don't want all the prettiness all the time. The prettiness, in fact, is what's kind of ruining a lot of the industry, because they're focusing so much on visuals, they're neglecting the gameplay on a daily basis. And the thing is, this whole holistic view that they're talking about, this whole you can't throw everything in at once, and we want to build something that's great for what it is sort of marketing spiel. It is literally just a lie. It's a marketing spiel line that they're throwing out there because, frankly, they've had 3 or 4 years to develop this game, and they've just gone, well, you know what, we don't have the time to make the game as pretty as what we're being told to make it, as well as put space battles in and put every vehicle as drivable and have it destructible and all the things that everyone wants the game to be. Yeah, they don't have the time to do it in, so they're just going to focus on one small aspect of the entire series. And the fact is, I just have this horrible, horrible, horrible feeling that we're going to get space battles coming as a paid-for DLC after launch at some point, like air superiority was in Battlefield 3. That's probably what's going to happen, and it sickens me. EA actually even turned around and said at one point that they won't be trying to release the game at the same time as a film. So that's why they're not going to have any of the EA Star Wars games tie in with the films, so they can focus on the games and make them as good as they can be. Except Star Wars Battlefront is coming out around the same time as the new Star Wars film. It's coming out within like the same month. So, fucking lie. They should have just... The fact is, the fans of this game, the fans of Star Wars Battlefront, and any newcomers that would come to the series, if they produced a next-gen version of Star Wars Battlefront 2 with destructibility and space battles and planetary battles and 120-odd player battles on Hoth, they would have done that, then not only would the core demographic, the hardcore fans of the series, absolutely fall in love with DICE and EA and just throw their money at it like no tomorrow, but they'd also have the new fans come in and go, this is amazing. Because the thing is, a lot of young gamers nowadays have not experienced 120 player battles. They've not experienced space battles and ground battles in the same game. They've not experienced multiple Jedis, Boba Fett's and Han Solos running around on the same map. None of them have experienced that. With the added advent of, you know, destructibility and ambient occlusion and all the new lovely pretty effects that they got today, if they would just spend another year or two developing this game and ignore the fucking movie release date, then you would have had the first true next-gen game that didn't disappoint, that actually wowed off their feet. Just, you know, would have blown people away. But instead we get this 20 on 20 maps on the ground, mostly infantry fighting, looking pretty, no destructibility, like a reskinned Battlefield team deathmatch with no destructibility. That's what we're getting. It's depressing. I'm just waiting for one bit of news. One bit of news about this game that actually impresses me. When I get that, my tune might change. But every single time they come out with a new article about this fucking game that me and thousands, millions of other people have been waiting for for around a decade now, it's always bad news, so it's disappointing. So it's like, oh, I'm sorry we can't do this because reasons. Or I'm sorry we don't have this feature in the game because reasons. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to fuck off and I'm going to go on to instant action, which is not in the new game. And then I'm going to play on Hoth with 120 odd players. And I'm going to drive an AT-AT and blow up a shield generator. Thank you for watching me, Cool Gaming Sports. Do stuff to every chance else you do, and I'll see you soon. Bye.